Hi, so taking the theme a little bit further with regards to timing and actually getting more efficient with your time. I said today that I'm going to give you some practical tips that you can start to get focused on. I'm going to give you 5 to get started on. And the first tip that I want to talk today about is when is your creative time? Some people, they may get up first thing in the morning and find that that's their most creative time. Some people might find that late at night is their most creative time. Well, here's the thing. When you find or when you establish that your creative time is, box it in. Allow yourself that opportunity to get away from any disturbance, to find yourself in a space where you can really start to hone into your creative skills. So when is your creative time? And that's tip number 1. So, your creative time. Let's think about that one. So number 2 then. Number 2 is a really good one. Avoid distractions. There are an abundance of distractions out there at the moment and stuff that you wouldn't even think about that starts to distract you, because you end up doing it and not realising actually how you can be using that time more efficiently doing something else, because guess what? You're not doing that other thing. Distractions, your email, if you've got it set to ping every time an email comes in, massive distraction. Your smartphones, social media, dare I say these Candy Crush and all the little games that you can start getting involved with. The telephone, your program to respond to all of these different things. A very quick insight. You probably heard of Pavlov's dogs, and the notion is that the Pavlov trained through repetition these dogs to start salivating when they heard a bell. Well, guess what? Every time you hear a bing, every time you hear it, your natural response is to go and see what it is. And guess what? Most of the time, it's just mundane, boring stuff. But every now and again, you get that one hit that it's come through. And, wow, that's a really interesting email. But when you look it up, in terms of how many times and how you weigh that up, it's a real distraction. So avoid distractions. A real key one. All right, I love this one, and I'm going to put this in red because for me this is probably one of the most important ones. Militancy. Let's get really militant about how you value your time. Stop people wasting your time. Put a value on how much your time is worth. Set the rules of the game that, there may be a specific time in the day where you don't want to be disturbed, where you put yourself in a position where you can't be disturbed. If your desk faces the door and every time somebody comes by you look up and you get eye contact, guess what? You're not really valuing your own time. Turn your desk around. Get militant with your time. And I'll put this one in red because I think it's a real important one. Get militant. And I think you'll probably agree that's quite an interesting concept to start thinking about. So here we go then. The next one. And it links back into some of the distraction side of life. So number 4 really is it's a very simple one. It is stop reacting. Okay? And that might sound a little bit funny, but what we actually mean, what we want to relate to, is we want you to start being proactive. At the moment, I'll go back to the distractions, the bings and everything that comes up on your emails and all those types of things you react to. You react to them and before you know it, you're embroiled in something that is probably very minor. Rather than being proactive and starting to think about, when is your creative time? When can you start to get focused on the bits that are really important to you? So start getting proactive about how you want to invest in your time, how you want to get time efficient, and stop reacting to other people's priorities. Stop reacting to other people who have got no value on your time, and start putting a value on your time. So number 5 then, and the last one for today before we move on, and funny old thing, plan tomorrow today. So the last thing you do at the day, at the end of your working day, is actually start to review, right, what am I doing tomorrow? What are the actions? When is my creative time? What are the real big things that I need to get sorted? A top tip on this one, by the way, if you're one of those list orientated people, don't use an A4 size piece of paper. You know, if you want to get really focused on being productive, use a post-it. I guarantee the stuff that you put on your list in a post-it will be more than enough to cover you through a day for any length of list. Otherwise, those lists, they just keep on growing bigger and bigger and bigger. You never get anywhere through them. But, you know, watch this one. If it's the end of your day today, watch this one and then go away and plan tomorrow right now. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to, you know, just carry on the theme of you know, helping you get efficient with time. Until then, have a great evening. Bye-bye.